and welcome to our first Game of Thrones trivia. I want to do something different, and throughout television history, Game of Thrones was one of the biggest viewed and reviewed television series in television history. So I figure since we do history, what better to do with a little Game of Thrones? And get everything adjusted here real quick. Get everything synced in. Booyah. So a little likey up there. There's that, and then we can share her out. If YouTube is working, or if Facebook is working, and it is not. App not set up. This app is still in development mode. You do not have access to it. Switch to a registered test user. Well, seeing as how it's not letting me switch to anything, we are going to go ahead take that off there, come back up here to this device right here. We are going to come up here to YouTube, up there to my channel. We're going to take this right here and we are going to share it out. Booyah. Hello, KG. Good to see you. Oops, you know something? You know what I forgot? I forgot something here. Hold on. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. Check this out. There we go. Good evening, Terry. Good evening, Jay. Good to see you. Here, I suppose if I'm going to do this, I better do this right. There's that. Where's this one at? Where's this one at? There we go. Now we are Game of Thrones. Hope everybody's had a good day today. Like I said, I wanted to do a little something different. You know, we're always doing history in here. We are doing television history. We are doing movie history. I figured, why not Game of Thrones? Throughout the history of television, it is one of the most viewed and reviewed series to ever hit the airwaves. So I figured, why not? Matter of fact, the wife is in there watching it right now. So, I hope you guys are Game of Thrones fans, because we got some good trivia tonight. 110 Game of Thrones questions. Of course, we aren't going to get to them all, But hey, we'll knock out a few of them. We're going to start this in about 10 minutes. So if anybody has to go tink-a-poo, or I've never seen one episode. Some of these questions might be a little hard for you then. Some of them. But, yeah. And you know, it's really amazing. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But, you know, I've ran into people that don't know a Tyrion from a Tywin. But I've ran into people who know not only the actors' real names, but their character names, what season they showed up in, and what their final fate was. So, we watched it all the way through. It had actually been on for 5 seasons when we started watching it. And believe you me, my wife is not in any way, shape, or form into those kind of TV shows. She was so taken by it that it was an everyday thing. 4 or 5 episodes a day in the evening time. And we actually finished the series when it actually finished. We caught up those 4 or 5 seasons, and then was right along with it, as she was that taken by it. The new one's not on yet. It will be on here very, very soon. It all pertains to the Targaryen household, and it's going to be real good, but it's still going to be several generations before Daenerys and her brother. And I tried watching it a couple of times. Every time I watched, family members were getting it on. I'm out. And you know, that was one of the jokes during the episode when Tyrion and Sansa got married. Olenna was sitting down there next to her grandson and stuff, and she was going, so when you marry her, then your uncle is going to become your stepbrother, your dad is going to be your uncle, and just kept rolling through it like that. And you know, Terry, in our modern age, I can completely 100% agree with you. But sadly enough, back in the time period when this was, you know, supposedly happening, that was normal. You kept the bloodlines pure by marrying into a pure bloodline. And if there were no other pure bloodlines, then you married into your family. Hey, what? Good to see you. You want in? You want in on a little bit of incest and inbreeding? Well, I mean, you're not exactly, you know, far enough south for that. But, you know, a couple hundred more miles and boom, it's everywhere. Like I said, we're going to start this at about 1/4 after. So if anybody wants to go get a drink, go do the tinkle tinkle thing, something like that, go for it. Oh yeah, I once again I agree, Terry. But back then they didn't know about genetics and stuff, and it wasn't exactly the three-headed baby thing as much as it was um, like severe anger issues, more of a mental thing than a physical thing. Um, I mean, look at Cersei. She had a daughter that was perfect. She had one son that suffered from mass depression, and one son that was the makings of a serial killer. Um, a complete little frickin' nutball. So, but that's okay. He drank poison and died, and the other one dove out a window when his mother murdered his bride. So, oh goodness gracious sakes! It is a warm, warm day right now. Still, it is. Well, that says 60 degrees, but I think that's lying. Hey, Ty. Good to see you tonight. Oh, yeah, 75 degrees. Cold, wet, and rainy here in hell. It's been raining off and on here all day. I do really like Peter Dinklage, amazing actor. I saw him in the musical Cyrano. Usually don't like musicals. Oh, I've liked Peter Dinklage for years. Um, Great actor, hilarious, and he's one of those actors that he loves his fans. He knows he would not be where he's at today without the love of his fans. So, when he gets a chance to meet fans, to spend time with them, shake their hand, he's all about that stuff. Um, Rory, the one that played the Hound on there, Rory McCann, he's the same way. Huge dude, huge dude. Thor, the one that played his brother on there, is the same way. Professional bodybuilder and stuff, but loves his fans. Knows he wouldn't be anywhere without his fans. It's been consistent here 2 days in a row, nonstop. Man, not here. It was beautiful yesterday. Absolutely beautiful. storming here. Been storming all day. Candy. Bring this around here. Pull that over this direction. We're going to get this started. We are going to get this started. Put on your thinking caps. And don't forget, hit that thumbs up. YouTube loves those. Don't exactly know why. But here we go. Who are the two brothers of the Night's Watch Sam must fight to protect Gilly when she is nearly raped? Who are the two brothers of the Night's Watch Sam must fight to protect Gilly when she is nearly raped? Who are the two brothers of the Night's Watch Sam must fight to protect Gilly when she is nearly raped? Man, there's a flood of potential answers. Now take your time typing that question into Google so you get the right response. Who are the two brothers of the Night's Watch that Sam must fight to protect Gilly when she is nearly raped? Well, I can see this is going to go over well. All right, well, I'll tell you what. The answer to that first question, which is a little harder, is Brant and Derek. Brant and Derek. Let's move to season 1 right here. Daenerys is traded away as a bride to a savage in season 1, who selfishly treats her like his own property. Daenerys is traded away as a bride to a savage in season 1, who selfishly treats her as his own property. No. Nope, not Sam. Daenerys is traded away as a bride to a savage in season 1, who selfishly treats her like his own property. Yeah, it is Viserys, Daenerys' brother. That is a Caucasian. Good to see you, bud. It is Viserys. Her own brother treats her like his property. Good job, Caucasian. Yep, traded to Khal Drogo for his army. You know, Khal Drogo, played by Jason Momoa. A lot of women went gaga over that savage. They wouldn't mind being, thrown down on the desert sand and manhandled by a savage. Grr, grr. All right. Through the entire series, the Night King was the main villain. At the conclusion of season 7, he destroys part of the wall. He is able to accomplish this by using one of Daenerys' dragons to burn a hole in the wall. Which dragon does he kill? The Night King has so far been the main villain in the series. At the conclusion of season 7, he destroys part of the wall and is able to accomplish this by using one of Daenerys' dragons to burn a hole in the wall. Which dragon does he kill? For those of you who are not familiar with the series, the Night King is a White Walker. They are kind of like an army of undead. They are zombies, kind of, sort of, almost, but not quite. And they are able to kill one of the dragons when they encounter them beyond the wall and turn it into an undead dragon. Blue eyes and all, blue flames and all. Nope, it was not Rhaegar. The Night King was the main villain of the series. At the conclusion of season 7, he destroys part of the wall. He's able to accomplish this by using one of Daenerys' dragons to burn a hole in the wall. Which dragon does he kill? Bleak Bleak is not a right answer. No, it is not Rhaegar. The dragon that he kills and brings back to half-life is Viserion. Viserion. can't remember the dragon's name. Biggest was Dragon. The zombie was Friggle, and Viserion was the one killed in the ocean battle. Friggle was actually killed in the ocean battle, and Viserion was the one that the Night King turned. At the end of Season 7, Cersei commands Euron Greyjoy to sail across the sea and pick up an elite group of sellswords. What is the name of this group of sellswords? At the conclusion of Season 7, Cersei commands Euron Greyjoy to sail across the sea and pick up an elite group of sellswords. What is it? Is the Golden Company. Good job, Caucasian. It is the Golden Company. What is the name of Jon Snow's direwolf? What is the name of Jon Snow's direwolf? This is an easy one. It is Ghost. Ghost was Jon's dire. What name is given to the bastards of the Reach? What name is given to the bastards of the Reach? Yes, it is Flowers. Looks like I'm going to have to sit and watch the movie again. It's been a while. We're actually watching it for the third time. We've watched it once since it officially ended on HBO, and the wife got in the mood last week to start watching it again. It is Flowers. In the Reach, the surname they're given, the bastards are given, is Flowers because of the fertility of the land. What is the main religion of the Seven Kingdoms? You read it? I would love to have the book, The Song of Ice and Fire. I would absolutely love to have that book. And sit down and just read it from cover to cover. Yeah, like I have the time to sit down and read a book that thick from cover to cover. I guess we're going to have to watch the series. Don't have any clue on these questions. And that's kind of the reason I wanted to do something a little different tonight is, so many times when we do trivia, people just blow through the questions, or they're very easy to look up online and kind of cheat. So I want to do something that, not everybody was familiar with, and something that was a little harder to just look up online. Old Gods and the New. Yeah, but there's an official name to the religion. You're right. You're right. But there's an official name to religion. It's called the Faith of the Seven. But I'm going to give it to you, the Old Gods and the New, because they do actually say that most of the time by the Old Gods and the New, but it is called the Faith of the Seven. Jon Arryn's death brought Ned Stark to King's Landing. While there, Ned investigated Arryn's death. Who actually killed Robert's first hand? Who actually killed Jon Arryn? Jon Arryn's death brought Ned Stark to King's Landing. While there, Ned investigated Arryn's death. Who actually killed Jon Arryn? No, Peter Baelish had something to do with it, but he didn't actually kill Jon Arryn. Littlefinger did have something to do with it, but he is not the one that actually killed him. He convinced somebody else to kill him. Who actually killed Jon Arryn, King Robert's first Hand of the King? No, it was not Lord Varys. It was not Lord Varys. It was Jon's wife, Lysa Arryn. Littlefinger convinced her that he was in league with the Lannisters and doing evil deeds, and that she should poison him. It was Lysa Arryn, Catelyn Stark's sister. What is the main collar of House Tarly's sigil? What is the main collar of House Tarly's sigil? I'll throw out some collars here. Yellow, green, black, or purple. Yellow, green, black, or purple. Which is the main collar of the House Tarly's sigil? Yellow, green, black, or purple. It is green. Green is the main collar of the House Tarly's sigil. And KG actually threw an answer in, and I give the right answer beforehand. Talk about ripping the hope right out, or the rug of hope right out underneath somebody's feet. Jeez, you cry me. Which house, Charlie is from Reach. Yes, which is why it was green. The color of the fertility of the land. Which house is a direct vassal of House Baratheon of King's Landing? Which house is a direct vassal of House Baratheon of King's Landing? They're asking for the house name. Let's see here. Upcliff, Greyjoy, Stokeworth, or Karstark. There we go. Upcliff, Greyjoy, Stokeworth, or Karstark. Oh, it is not Karstark. It is not Karstark. Which house is a direct vassal of the House Baratheon of King's Landing? Upcliff, Greyjoy, Stokeworth, or Karstark? The correct answer is Stokeworth. Stokeworth is the correct answer. Mussolini, good evening. Hope you're doing well tonight. The Water Gardens belongs to which constituency of Westeros? The Water Gardens belongs to which constituency of Westeros? The Vale, Dorne, the Gift, or the Crownlands? The Water Gardens belongs to which constituency of Westeros? The Vale, Dorne, the Gift, or the Crownlands? The Water Gardens belongs to Dorne. Caucasian, you're all over these questions, bud. All over. In the very first, because it is a desert, it's posh. Yes, it is. You are correct on that. You got a good memory. In the very first episode, King Robert says, "In my dreams, I kill him every night." Who is he referring to? In the first episode, King Robert says, "I kill him. In my dreams, I kill him every night." Who's he referring to? Hey, Jan, good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well tonight. It is Rhaegar Targaryen, the Mad King, because he believes that Rhaegar had kidnapped Lyanna Stark. It is, you are correct, it is the Mad King, Rhaegar Targaryen. At Hoster Tully's funeral, who shot the burning arrow that hit its mark? At Hoster Tully's funeral, who shot the burning arrow that hit its mark? In the kitchen, took dinner to a gentleman from our church who isn't doing well. Aw, well, that was awful sweet of you. I hope he enjoyed every single bite of that meal. Hey, Lee. Good to see you, bud. Hoster Tully, Sam's dad. When Hoster Tully died, he wanted a Viking-style funeral, a funeral fit for a king. Who actually shot the arrow that hit its mark? Finally, some trivia I know. See, this should be right up Lee's alley, too, because Lee kind of reminds me of a Tully. Yes, Edmure Tully kept trying to hit it and couldn't, and finally his brother, Brendan, shot the arrow and hit it on his first shot. So yes, the brother, Bren, not Bronn, but Bren. Who said the line, "I always hated crossbows. They always hated crossbows. They take too long to load"? I always hated crossbows. They take too long to load. Roderick, Robb Stark, Yori, or Yoren? I hate crossbows. They take too long to load. Roderick, Robb, Jory, or Yoren? Oh, Daryl. It. Nope, it's not Rob or Daryl. It is Yoren. Yoren hated crossbows because they take too long to reload. In season 2, who does Tyrion tell Varys he is planning on marrying to Princess Myrcella? In season 2, who does Tyrion tell Varys he is planning on marrying to Princess Myrcella? Back to Civil War trivia. No, not Littlefinger. He wound up with a little something a little bit later on after that, but who the hell is Euron? Euron. Not the Prince of Dorne. Hey, Rusty. Who the hell is Euron? Who does Tyrion tell Varys he is planning on marrying to Princess Myrcella? I'll give you a hint. He was very, very abused after this situation. And I mean very abused. It is Theon Greyjoy. You got it. Mr. Hack and Slash. Mr. Wienerless. Theon Greyjoy. Reek. Exactly. Exactly. How many fingertips did Stannis Baratheon chop off of Davos's hands? How many fingertips did Stannis Baratheon chop off of Davos's hands? Not 3. The one nice thing about this question is you can keep guessing, but you can only guess up to 10 times. 43. Yes, he cut 43 fingertips off Davos's hand. No, he didn't cut off all 10. Oh, here we go. 7, 6, 5, 4. He cut 4 fingertips off Davos's hand. Good job, Lee. I get it. You skipped 3. He cut 4. Stannis Baratheon cut 4 fingertips off Davos's hands. Who is the king? Yeah, a major award. There you go. Never saw an episode of this. Who played Robin? There was not a Robin in this show. The guy next to Batman. Who was the king of Westeros at the beginning of the series? Who was the king of Westeros at the beginning of the series? It was not Elvis. It was Robert Baratheon. First of his name, King of the Andals. Though I would accept Elvis. You know, as many things as I've seen him in over the years, A Knight's Tale, The Time Machine. Yeah, the guy from A Knight's Tale, exactly. Robert Baratheon. What is one of Samwell Tully's nicknames? What is one of Samwell Tully's nicknames? That's his real name. What is one of Samwell Tully's nicknames? When Samwell first arrives at Castle Black and they put him into sword training, he starts, making a certain sound as everybody is beating him with their swords. And Alistair gives him a nickname. It's not good that he's the only guy who was slayed in the Night's Watch. Well, no, Jon does when he meets the cute little red-headed wildling. Remember the whole cave scene? With the hot springs? He is called Lady Piggy. When he first arrives at Castle Black and they start sword fighting and training, he starts squealing like a little pig. And Alistair says something about, so the South is now sending us squealing bloody pigs. And they start calling him Lady Piggy. Arguments could be made he was a turncoat at the hot springs. Arguments could be made. Very true. Daenerys finds great happiness with her son and stars, Khal Drogo. But who destroys both Drogo and the unborn son? Daenerys finds great happiness with her son and stars, Khal Drogo. But who destroys both Drogo and their unborn son? It is Miriamaz the witch. You are correct. It was not Biden. It was not Brandon. Brandon did not do this. Might have been behind it somewhere, but he did not do it. It was Miriamaz the witch. When the in season 1, Sandor Clegane was named to the Night Watch and regularly saved Sansa Stark from Joffrey. But Clegane left King's Landing at the during the Battle of Blackwater Bay. Why did he leave? Why did Sandor Clegane, the Hound, leave King's Landing during the Battle of Blackwater Bay? It was fire. Because his brother, the Mountain, had burned his face as a child for playing with one of his toys. And even though Clegane was a great warrior, fuck the king. Exactly. Yep, the city was burning and the king was a cowardly boy. But yes, he left King's Landing because of his fear of fire. Who is Jon Snow's real father? Who is Jon Snow's real father? It is Rhaegar. It is not Darth Vader. It is not Frosty or C-3PO. Good guesses, though. Great characters. They would have all made great dads. But, no, it was Rhaegar Targaryen. Hey, Fish. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. Rhaegar Targaryen was Jon Snow's real father. What is Olenna's relationship with Mace Tyrell? What is Olenna's relationship to Mace Tyrell? Might have needed out too hard. Nerded out. What is Olenna's relationship to Mace Tyrell? No, not the sister. What is Lady Olenna's relationship to Mace Tyrell? Wife. Got me on this one. Daughter. No. It was, Olenna was Mace's mother. Mace Tyrell was her only known son. You're doing good. You're getting all, you guys are getting all the family out there. All the potential, roles she could play, but she was his mother. What nasty creature felled a drunken King Robert? What nasty creature felled a drunken King Robert? It was a boar. You are correct, sir. You are correct. Drugged and drunk, thanks to his scheming wife Cersei, King Robert was gored by a boar on a hunting trip. Which houses have the moon in their sigil? Which houses have the moon in their sigil? You're fine, Jan. You're fine. Not everybody is. Jay just said a little while ago he was going to have to start watching it, just so he knew what was going on. Like he has the time to watch, that many seasons of a show. The entire Boer family could feast off chocolate. Never seen it either. Wow. And funny fish, you strike me as a definite Game of Thrones watching kind of person. We're on our third time. The wife's in like the middle of or the beginning of season 3 for the third time. Okay, let me see here. Which houses have the moon in their sigil? Aaron and Fell, Aaron and Wild, Tarly and Stark, or Tarth and Clegane? Which houses have the moon in their sigil? Aaron and Fell, Aaron and Wild, Tarly and Stark, or Tarth and Clegane? Next week, Vikings. It is not Aaron and Wild. You got it half right, though. It is not Tarth and Aaron. It is Aaron and Fell. Aaron and Fell have the moon in their sigil. Tony Stark. It's your wrong movie. Hufflepuff. What language is commonly used by the priests and priestesses of R'hllor? What language is commonly used by the priests and priestesses of R'hllor? No, a sigil usually does not have a sphincter. I mean, not that I've seen anyway, but I've not seen very many sigils in my life. What language is commonly used by the priests and priestesses of R'hllor? It is Valyrian. Well, it is High Valyrian, but still, it is Valyrian. Apparently, you have to be high to speak it. At the end, this is a good one. We just done this episode last night. At the end of their training, no, she's actually in there watching Game of Thrones right now. At the end of their training, what must an Unsullied kill to prove he has no mercy or weakness? At the end of their training, what must an Unsullied kill to prove they have no mercy or weakness? Is she missing? Nope. She's where would she be by now? Be right. She's probably right along in that area where Theon gets released or escapes from his captors. Yes, an Unsullied must go out into town and kill a newborn slave child to prove they have no mercy or weakness left after their training. Lunch money. Pretty much, they gave him a silver piece. They gave the owner of the slave child a silver piece, not the mother. They gave it to the owner after they killed the child to prove their strength and mercilessness. Theon is the greatest swordsman in the kingdom. You are correct about that. Who is the liege lord of the Freys before the War of the Five Kings? Who is the liege lord of the Freys before the War of the Five Kings? Who is the liege lord of the Freys before the War of the Five Kings? No, it is not Walder Frey. This person would be the liege lord over the entire Frey clan. It was not Pelosi. Pelosi was never a liege lord. She was just a bitch. It was not Palpatine. He was a bitch too. Who was the liege lord over all of the Frey's lands before the War of the Five Kings? There, I changed it up a little bit. A liege lord, don't forget, is not a member of that house. They own the lands that house sets on. You have a lord and then you have a liege lord. Walter Tully would be, or Walter Frey would be the lord of his house, but there's a lord over him, a higher lord. Wicked is good. Who was the liege lord of the Freys for the War of the Five Kings? Before the Freys became their own liege lord, or their own lords, the liege lord over them was the lord over all of the Riverlands, Hoster Tully. Hoster Tully was the liege lord over the Freys and all of the Riverlands. What was the name of the man who chopped off Jaime's right? What was the name? Oh yeah, you did say that, didn't you? Sorry, I didn't see that, Lee. It was Hoster Tully. You are absolutely correct. I did not see that. What was the name of the person who chopped off Jaime Lannister's right hand? What was the name of the person that chopped off Jaime Lannister's right hand? All right, Rusty. We'll catch you later, bud. What was the name of the man who chopped off Jaime Lannister's right hand? Prayers, love, and good rhythm to you too, my friend. Have a good evening. We'll catch you Friday. What was the name of the man who chopped off Jaime Lannister's right hand? It was not Jay. Jay did not do it. It was Locke. Locke was the name of the criminal that chopped off Jaime's right hand. What noble house? Yeah, I know. It's L-O-C-K-E. L-O-C-K-E was how it was originally. But, you know, it was Wookiee. It was not Wookiee. He did not do it. This time, the Wook was innocent. What noble house is Catelyn Stark from? What noble house is Catelyn Stark from? No, before she married Eddard. What was her original house she was from? No, Catelyn was not a Targaryen. She was a Tully. Catelyn was originally a Tully before she married Eddard Stark. Incent my foot. Incent? You have incense in your foot? At the end of season 2, Joffrey Baratheon sits on the Iron Throne, but who is actually the rightful king? All right, Jan, we will see you later. Have a good evening. We'll see you on Friday. They're referring, guys, they're referring to before we know about Jon Snow's real lineage. That's what they're referring to is before we know Jon Snow's real lineage. At the end of season 2, when Joffrey is made, it is Stannis. Stannis Baratheon is the true king. Doggone it, now I got hiccups. It is Stannis Baratheon, Robert's brother. Where did Sam get the thimble that he gave to Gilly? Where did Sam get the thimble that he gave to Gilly? And while you guys think about that, I'm going to run to the potty real quick because I'm about ready to bust a gasket. Where did Sam get the thimble he gave to Gilly? Yeah, I got a train like a block away. So, yeah, you're going to hear it when it comes through. That's why I have to get up so early in the morning and do all my recording and stuff if I plan on having the windows open and any ventilation in here before Facebook and everything starts going ding, 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 and the train starts driving through here going woo, woo. Where did Sam... Yes, Sam got the thimble he gave to Gilly from his mother. You are correct, sir. What does Daenerys do to the Dothraki warlords who will not serve a woman? What does Daenerys do to the Dothraki warlords who refuse to serve a woman? You got it. She goes Dracarys. She burns them down. Well, she has Drogon burn them down. What big, lovable man died so Bran could escape the White Walkers? What big, lovable man died so Bran could escape the White Walkers? It was Hodor. That shit was sad. I'm not ashamed to say I cried. I bawled like a baby to come to find out his entire life, everything that happened to him, was to serve that one moment in time. Hold the door, hold the door, hold the door. But then again, I don't feel so bad about crying like a baby because I've watched a lot of the reviews on YouTube from Game of Thrones, and that scene where he holds the door, I have seen some dudes twice my size wiping their eyes watching that scene saying, no, no, not Hodor. So I don't feel so bad. Brienne pledged her allegiance to which? Brienne pledged her allegiance to which pair of individuals? Stannis Baratheon and Catelyn Stark, Renly Baratheon and Melisandre, Catelyn Stark and Renny Baratheon, or Sansa Stark and Sewell Tarth? Yeah, it is. It's like that scene in Shawshank. You're right. You're right. If you don't shed a tear, or at least feel them starting to well up inside you, you're a heartless bastard. You seriously are. It was Kat and Rennie. It was Kat and Rennie that Brienne pledged her allegiance to. Now, this brings up an interesting point that was brought up earlier in this when somebody said something about Jon Snow breaking his vows to the Watch. Why could Jon Snow leave the Night's Watch since his vows were for life? Why could Jon Snow leave the Night's Watch though his vows were for life? Because he died. His vows were ended at the time of his death. Didn't matter, they brought him back to life. His vows ended at the time of his death. That is correct. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. And his watch was done. Exactly. On the orders of King Joffrey, Elend Payne beheads Ned Stark with which ancient sword? On the orders of King Joffrey, Elend Payne beheads Ned Stark with which ancient sword? But what was the name of the blade? God, I want this sword. Jeez, criminy, I want this sword. Not only would it help with my character, but doing security to have an executioner sword like that. Oh dear God. What was the name of Ned Stark's sword? Ned Stark's sword was named Ice. Ned Stark's sword was named Ice. And as the saying goes, the man who passes judgment should swing the sword. It was Ice. Yeah, stupid simple, man. Stupid simple. What is the motto of House Greyjoy? I kind of like my answer personally. Stark's own blade. Got me. Ice? Ye old sharp one. Yeah. That blade, though, was like almost 4.5 feet long and over 4 inches wide. Uh, the replicas of that sword weigh upwards of 6.5 pounds. What is the motto of the House Greyjoy? Yep, they actually melted it down into two brand new swords. They most definitely did. What is dead may never die. They actually had a second motto: we do not sow. Meaning, sow as in, what is dead can never die, what is dead may never die. That is the house motto. What? Yeah, exactly. What is the name of Visenya Targaryen's sword? What is the name of Visenya Targaryen's sword? I have to admit, this is one thing I really liked about um, how George R. R. Martin wrote this part of the show and the book. Even historically, in real history, every good sword had a name. It gave it a spirit, it gave it a soul, and they did the same thing in the show. Um, of course, Ned Stark's was called Ice. It was melted down after his death, and Joffrey. Um, Joffrey got one of the swords made from it, called Widow's Wail. Visenya, he had a special name for his. Um, Heartsbane belonged to the House Tully, and but Visenya's was called Dark Sister. It was a Valyrian sword. It was called Dark Sister. I name my guns. Don't we all? When Arya Stark is playing the game of faces with Jaqen H'ghar, he hits her with a switch to punish her for lying. When she tells the story of killing a stable boy by stabbing him in the back, why does Jaqen hit her with the switch? When Arya Stark's playing Game of Faces with Jaqen H'ghar, Jaqen hits her with a switch when he knows she's lying. When she tells him the story of escaping King's Landing, by saying she had to stab a stable boy in the back. Why does he hit her? Yes, she stabs him from the front. She stabs him from the front. She does not stab him in the back. You are correct, sir. Actually got further in these questions than I thought we would tonight. This is a good one. When Khal Drogo finally gives Viserys Targaryen his golden crown, what does he scream out to his sister? When Khal Drogo finally gives Viserys Targaryen his golden crown, what does Viserys yell out to his sister? And no, it is not, oh my God, this molten gold is melting the flesh from my skull. However, that was a frickin' awesome scene. Greedy bastard got exactly what he deserved. He got his golden crown, a whole pot of molten gold poured over his head. He yells out, Dany, please. Jay, I thought you didn't know anything about Game of Thrones. That is absolutely correct. That is exactly what he says. Dany, please. Good job, Jay. I'm melting. No, but the flesh off his skull was. Khal Drogo got tired of him bitching and whining about wanting his golden crown, and he took all the gold sitting around there in his yurt and threw it in an iron pot over the fire and melted it down and poured it right over Viserys' head. There's your golden crown, you skinny bastard. Oh, you found something on the internet? For these trivia questions, I'm actually going to allow that. Who attempts to kill Tyrion on the battlefield in the Battle of Blackwater Bay? Who attempts to kill Tyrion on the battlefield in the Battle of Blackwater Bay? No, it wasn't his father. His father rode in with the troops and saved them. But Cersei had ordered one of her men to kill him on the battlefield. Who was this man she ordered to do this? Damn near cut his face off. Damn near cut it off. Took a swing with the sword and cut him straight down, right on across here. The gold-cloaked pedo. I will accept gold-cloaked pedo or Sir Mandon Moore. Either one's fitting. Gold-cloaked pedo is much cuter, though. In 2011, which actor won the Golden Globe Award for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in a Series? In 2011, which actor won the Golden Globe Award for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in a Series? Hey, Ian. Good to see you, bud. Yes, it was Peter Dinklage who played Tyrion Lannister. You got it. In 2011, Peter Dinklage won the Golden Globe Award for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in a Series. He did. He stole that show. He stole that show. And it's much like I told the wife earlier tonight. Isn't it really funny that the ones that we really didn't like at the beginning of the series, by the end of the series, we really honestly loved? Some of them we hated, or some of them we loved at the beginning of the series, we hated by the end, and some of them we loved them at the beginning, hated them in the middle, and loved them at the beginning, at the end again. It's just amazing how they brought that book to life. You actually seen it, and the characters went through such a progression through the show. Much like Clegane. Everybody thought he was badass as a bad guy at the beginning, but by the end of it, you were shedding tears for him. At the slave city of Astapor, Daenerys uses a clever strategy to get the Unsullied from the slave traders. How does she deal with getting the Unsullied? What does she do to take possession of the Unsullied? At the slave city of Astapor, Daenerys uses a clever strategy. Well, the dragon didn't eat him because he was still teeny tiny. He only had a wingspan of like 5 feet. She actually did give Kraznys one of her dragons, and then she used the Dracarys and set him on fire, then had the Unsullied kill all the slave owners in town. She did give them a dragon for 8,000 Unsullied. And yes, when he took possession of the dragon, she called out the Dracarys. The dragon set him on fire. Yeah, half point. Half point for everybody. Used her dragon to kill him. Commanded the Unsullied to liberate the city. Traded the dragon. Oh yeah. Half point for everybody. Who does Sansa Stark wind up marrying instead of King Joffrey? Who does Sansa Stark wind up marrying instead of King Joffrey? she does marry Tyrion. On the day of their wedding, and I love this, on the day of their wedding, when his father is telling him he will marry Sansa and will put a baby inside her, what does Tyrion say he is the Lord of? On the day of their wedding, when Tyrion Lannister was telling Tyrion he would marry Sansa and put a Lannister baby inside her, what did Tyrion say he was the Lord of? Hey, Tony. Good to see you, bud. Good evening. On the day of Tyrion and Sansa's wedding, when Tyrion was telling him that he would marry her and put a Lannister baby inside her, what did Tyrion say he was the Lord of? His father told him, "You are a Lannister." And he looked up at his father and said, "Oh yes, I am the Lord of blank and blank." Close, but not fools and drunks. He looks up at his father with a straight face and says, "Oh yes, I am the Lord of tits and wine." Oh, the eloquence. Oh yes. Oh yes, Father, I am the Lord of tits and wine. Which two main characters, believes in the old gods of the forest? Which two main characters believe in the old gods of the forest? Yeah, Stark and Snow. It actually started off in the first episode with Eddard and Jon. And then after Eddard's death, it was Jon, Catelyn, and Brandon. They can all be seen praying near a weirwood tree somewhere in the first season. Sansa Stark and Tyrion Lannister were both suspected in poisoning King Joffrey. But who really did the little monster in? Sansa Stark and Tyrion Lannister were both suspected of poisoning King Joffrey, but who really done the little monster in? That famous line uttered. Please tell Cersei. I want her to know I did it. Yes, it was Olenna Tyrell. Olenna Tyrell. Right after Jaime gave her the poison in her wine, and she found out she was dying, she looked up at Jaime and said, "It didn't have the effect that I thought it would. I'd never seen the poison work. Please tell Cersei. I want her to know I did it." What is the name of the gate that leads to the Eyrie? What is the name of the gate that leads to the Eyrie? What is the name of the gate that leads to the Eyrie? It is the Bloody Gate. It is the Bloody Gate. Good job, Jay. Good job. What was the name of the boy that Arya played with who later died when Nymeria attacked Joffrey? What was the name of the boy Arya played with that later died when Nymeria attacked Joffrey? Actually, it was kind of ironic what the boy's name really was, since his father was a baker. Nowadays, what is a baker's prep table surface made out of? It's a type of slate. The baker's boy that Arya played with that later died, yes, his name was Micah. Formica. What they make a baker's prep tabletop made out of. And that's it, guys. That is the end of Game of Thrones trivia. I want to let you guys know, for those of you who was not in the chat this morning, starting on Wednesday nights, I am going to start hosting Unrestricted Paranormal podcast with Danny at 8 o'clock. Let me see here. Let me Unrest XTV. I believe that's how it's spelt. I'm pretty sure that's how it's spelt. I'm going to become his new co-host on Unrestricted Paranormal Podcast on YouTube and the podcast stations on Wednesday nights. It'll be at 8 o'clock p.m. He's got some pretty good guests on there. He had a really good one on there last night, but we decided today we're going to start doing it on Wednesday evenings. So I will be bringing back, at least for the time being, let me rephrase that. When I can actually juggle more time, I'm going to bring back the Wednesday morning stream, so my Wednesday evenings are free. But for right now, we're going to stay with no morning Wednesday until I can get the time thing jiggled around a little bit. I'm going to be very, very busy for the next month with investigations and just all kinds of stuff. I have got the Memorial Day Parade that Mark and I and Danny are going to be in. We have got an investigation coming up. We have got a Civil War reenactment coming up. We've got a bunch of stuff coming up. So for the time being, you can see me every other Wednesday on Unrestricted Paranormal, co-hosting with Danny. Mondays are going to go back to the norm. Monday morning, Monday evening, and Friday morning, Friday evening. Unless I'm away, there will not be anything on Friday. Unless I can get the Wi-Fi to do it. So that's it, guys, for now. It is that time. Thank you for not having a complete and total meltdown on this attempt to do some Game of Thrones trivia and do something a little different. But until Friday morning, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. I'll see y'all later. You guys have a good evening.